Hello and welcome to the Juventus Stadium for round 32 of the Serie A season. We are in Turin once again for the big match of this midweek fixture. I'm Patrick Taroni, your commentator for this match, and by my side this evening is Paul Visca.
Good evening, Patrick. Good evening, everybody.
Well, it is Juventus against Lazio, the big game. The home side still unbeaten this season, looking to keep that run going against the Lazio side very much on the up after their victory over Napoli at the weekend. Now, a new record could be set this evening by Juventus, but they're also playing catch-up once again.
Indeed, Patrick. Juventus could make it 32 matches unbeaten and beat Inter's record of the best ever start to the season. And that's when the campaign has been worth 3 points per match. However, Juventus gunning for their 5th straight win, which I think is more important to the team and more important to Conte. It would be the longest run of victories this season, and it would put them back on top of the league after Milan's 1-0 victory in Verona yesterday evening. In fact, in the first half of the campaign, almost a mirror image, because the winning streak started with a victory over Fiorentina. However, it ended with a win over Lazio because it was a rearranged fixture against Napoli. That finished 3-3. However, this time round, Juventus have already seen past Napoli. Now they face Lazio, and it could be a double victory over the side from the capital this season. However, Edi Rhea is his 100th match in charge of Lazio, and how he'd love his first victory against Juventus since he took over the Biancocelesti.
Yeah, Lazio haven't in fact beaten the Bianconeri since 2003, so a long time ago, 8 years. And as you mentioned, Paul, Milan winning their match yesterday evening, and so they are currently 2 points ahead in the table. So Juventus, the pressure back on Juventus. A victory here would take them back to the top and back to 1 point above the Rossoneri. We're all set then for a kick-off. Vidal alongside Quagliarella in the centre circle. So Juve playing in their black and white strip, get the game underway, and they're in the last minute change by Antonio Conte. Initially seemed to be starting with a 3-5-2 formation, but he has in fact gone for the 4-3-3 with Lichtsteiner starting the match in place of De Celje, and an early chance possibly here. Vucinic just couldn't go round Diakite. So Chiellini out on the left, Bonucci and Barzagli in the middle, and Lichtsteiner on the right hand side with Marchisio, Pirlo and Vidal in the middle. Quagliarella being supported by Pepe and Vucinic up front as Pirlo gets ready to swing in the corner kick, and it's going to be another one headed out by the Lazio defence.
So Antonio Conte spoiled by his choice of players, and we were surprised to see Lichtsteiner warming up so vigorously before the kick-off for a player who was meant to be on the bench. And so the surprise wasn't that Juventus are in fact wearing their black and white stripes in a whole match this season, but the fact that Lichtsteiner has started against his former side. Edi Rhea has had great difficulties this season with injuries, and it's continued again in defence. No Conco, no Radu, no Dias. And basically the only 4 defenders fit are the ones out playing.
Well, very much a motivational coach, Antonio Conte. Obviously saw that Lichtsteiner was very motivated for the match. Edi Rhea, on the other hand, as you mentioned, with a few injury problems. So Scaloni, Biava, Diakite and Garrido playing only his 5th match of the season in defence. Sana and Ledesma, the 2 holding players in front of Gonzalez, or behind should I say, Gonzalez, Mauri and Candreva. That ball played forward by Vidal and Vucinic. Well, Marchetti very quickly out.
Lovely one-touch football by Juventus. Quagliarella was offside when the ball was originally played forward. Vucinic touched it onto Quagliarella, then back onside, and the break through the middle. Juventus have started at an amazing pace, and Lazio would do well just to keep the score level for the first 5 minutes, and then they'll catch their breath and try and build something perhaps surprising from Ederea's side as the two Brazilians, Matuzlem and Hernanes, are on the bench.
Absolutely, Mauri holding down his place instead of Hernanes after that wonder goal against Napoli, the overhead kick he scored to give Lazio a 2-1 lead. But in the meantime, Pepe down this right-hand flank, cuts back inside, finds Vidal. Vidal can look up, plays a wide ball out to Lichtsteiner. Lichtsteiner up against two players and hits it right against Garrido, a Spaniard. Lichtsteiner with the throw. Here's Vidal, just let it slip through his legs. Pirlo didn't hold on to it, and it's Mauri coming away with it. Vidal with a sliding challenge, couldn't take it away from Candreva. Another player playing against his former side. Candreva spent half a season at Juventus. Here's Sana now, out to Ledesma. Back to Sana. And again, as the whistles start around the Juventus stadium. Back to Diakite now. So Lazio just working it round. Biava. Ledesma.
And Lazio in third place in the league, having an extraordinary season considering the problems that they've had. And they've got the experience here to take some of the heat out of the early moments of the match. Don't want to give Juventus possession too cheaply.
No, Juve, who always starts so strongly. It's important for Lazio to just stay calm and ride the early storm and then settle into the match. Here's Gonzalez out wide to Mauri. Chiellini with a challenge. Vidal. Lichtsteiner coming forward. Got Pepe. Back to Vidal. Vidal spots Chiellini free. Vucinic, who loves to cut inside, leaving it for Pirlo. Pirlo towards Lichtsteiner. That's a move we've seen over and over again, with Lichtsteiner making the run behind the fullback. Intercepted by Vidal. Lichtsteiner again to Pirlo. Forward to Vucinic. Vucinic. That's lovely skill by Vucinic. Just trying to slip it through to Pepe. It's come to Pirlo though. Danger hasn't passed. Pirlo. Chiellini inside. That's a good ball in. And it's not on target by Quagliarella.
Quagliarella, 2 goals in his last 2 matches. It's the first time this season that he started 2 consecutive games. Looking to get on the score sheet once again, near post.
Well, he was very close this occasion. Wonderful ball in by Chiellini. And the sliding effort from Quagliarella. Not sure if it took a touch off Diakite, but the goal kick has been given. Marchetti with a long kick towards Mauri. Goes down. No free kick given though. Lichtsteiner.
And Antonio Conte will be happy with the initial start from Mirko Vucinic. At times a mood player, and he seems to be in the right frame of mind this evening against the team that was so often the derby opponent for him. In fact, last season he scored a penalty kick in the Rome derby, as did Marco Borriello on the bench this evening for Juventus.
Lichtsteiner just showed too much of it to Candreva. Still in possession though, Lichtsteiner, and it took a deflection towards Gonzalez. Gonzalez, who's gone past Vucinic. There was no real support close to Gonzalez. It was a difficult ball to play. Here's Vucinic now to Quagliarella. Quagliarella stuck between 2 players. Mauri to Candreva. Candreva, who also had a very good game against Napoli, holding down his place. And that is a free kick. Marchisio, a foul on Mauri. Candreva, who scored the opener against Napoli.
Ederea's certainly not playing a 4-2-3-1. not so attack-minded. You can see Gonzalez and Candreva very much holding in the midfield line. A 4-4-1-1 with Mauri supporting Rocky. Rocky looking for one more goal to take it to 100 in Serie A.
Hernanes on the bench this evening. Eddie Rea just not impressed with his form at the moment, preferring to rest him.
We did pick up on some transfer gossip though, Patrick, didn't we? 20 million, the price tag slapped on him by Lotito, and Juventus apparently interested.
Here's Mauri inside the box as Vidal clears, but the referee's blown his whistle. Absolutely, Paul, the transfer news in the papers anyway is that Hernanes could well be sold at the end of the season. Asking price, according to newspaper reports, is that 20 million that Lotito would like. And Juventus, of course, with Champions League football almost certain next season, are looking to strengthen that midfield area. Here's Pirlo, forward towards Pepe, headed down by well, the shot comes in. Oh, it's hit Marchetti in the face. Well, that's a save if ever I've seen one. Well, it took an awkward bounce. Paul Marchetti has had to put the ball out of play.
Quagliarella aiming just to bounce it in front of the goalkeeper. It's exactly what it did. And Marchetti caught out.
Did take an awkward bounce on that part of the turf that isn't absolutely flat. A little bit bumpier than the rest of the turf.
Did he save face there, Patrick?
Yeah, I think he did. Marchetti still down though. I think he took it right on the nose, judging from the replay.
Eddie Rea talking to Candreva. Still some fine tactical tuning to be done.
Well, while we wait for Marchetti to get back up, and I hope he does so. He's just getting back onto his feet now. Lazio haven't won two matches in a row since they beat Fiorentina and Roma. It's been an up and down season for Lazio. But if there is one thing that they don't do is draw very often. Just 6 draws all season for Lazio. Here's Mauri, over the top. Pirlo trying to dispossess Gonzalez, done so. Marchisio needs to hold on to possession here, does well. Now Chiellini inside to Barzagli, who has space. Pirlo. Back to Barzagli. And Vidal leaving it for Pirlo. Here's Vidal once again. It's been instrumental in recent weeks as Vidal. And that's a heavy challenge by Diakite.
Yellow card.
Well, the first yellow of the match. Diakite came diving in. And just 12 minutes played. The first yellow.
Late challenge on Vidal. Also, you said Lazio very up and down season up until Christmas. They had the best away record. Then they got back at the start of the new year with a 4-0 thrashing at sea. Since then they've lost at Inter, they've lost at Genoa, they've lost at Palermo, Catania and Parma. Their away form has been shocking in 2012. Juventus looking to take advantage.
Pirlo. It's headed out by Diakite. Candreva with a very awkward... Bonucci thought twice about the cross. Now Pirlo.
Bonucci's making his run towards the far post. Another of the goal scorers from the weekend. He and Quagliarella looking once again to get back on the score sheet.
Here's Lichtsteiner Out to Chiellini.
Bonucci, who during that moment that Juventus were suffering when they had the drawitis, as it's been coined here in Italy. Bonucci was very much picked on by the Juventus supporters, but now he's backed all the way. Same as Vucinic, two players who have won back the entire Juventus support.
Well, Juve haven't conceded a goal in their last 5 games, and just 17 goals conceded all season, by far and away the tightest defence of Serie A. Mean defence it is. And the last team to score against the Bianconeri were Bologna, and that was at the start of March. Well, free kick has been taken by Barzagli. Lichtsteiner. Barzagli bringing it forward. Here is Bonucci, who in fact shook off a little bit of a temperature, a fever over the last few days to make it this evening. Here's Pepe inside to Barzagli. Pirlo is free. He finds Vucinic. Vucinic to Vidal. Vidal. The pace rather slow at the moment from both sides as Juve just try and find an opening.
Very difficult with Lazio having packed so many players inside their own half. There was no offside there.
Quagliarella making that run, playing as the out-and-out striker. Quagliarella this evening. Marchetti seems to have recovered.
The ball chipped forward by Bonucci, showing you once again how his confidence has been restored. The central defender. Also Quagliarella's didn't seem to have an opening at Juventus under Conte. However, the coach just waited until he was fully fit, then gave him a chance. And a different kind of striker. He's got the two classic centre forwards in Matri and Borriello. However, Quagliarella gives him a little bit more movement and a lot more unpredictability.
And there is talk of a contract extension for Fabio Quagliarella till 2015. So Juve have every intention, it seems, of keeping their man. Here's Marchisio, out to Vucinic, and that's a free kick on Vucinic. Skips past his man so well. Scaloni this time, the culprit. And this is a dangerous position. We've seen that Juventus have been dangerous from set pieces in recent weeks, with Bonucci scoring a header at the weekend.
Also the defenders, Chiellini, Di Ceglie, have also been on the score sheet.
Pirlo then swinging it in towards Chiellini. Marchetti doing very well indeed to get a hand on the ball. Candreva just taking it out of play. Pepe gets on with it very quickly indeed. Here's Vidal inside to Pirlo. Pirlo twisting and turning so well, and just couldn't spot a black and white shirt ahead of him. He finds Chiellini now, and the nod down for Vucinic was just a bit too long. Marchisio to Vidal. Vidal might fancy a shot. Well, Ledesma getting in front of him well. Here's Quagliarella with the back heel towards Vidal, and Marchetti giving Garrido the call, making that ball his.
Certainly good movement from Juventus, in spite of that Lazio backline, the 4-4-2. Only Mauri, also in the last third of his pitch, only Rocchi round about the halfway line, so you got 9 Lazio players in front of their goalkeeper, and yet Juventus still managed to find a way through, playing good football on the deck.
Pirlo going back to Buffon, giving Buffon a touch of the ball.
Andrea Pirlo can do no wrong. That overhead pass back to his goalkeeper, still getting a round of applause.
Lichtsteiner inside to Barzagli. Quagliarella turning his man. Biava was sucked in there, and well, Vucinic went for an elaborate strike. First time, didn't quite come off.
Biava, for such an experienced central defender, being caught out there. The turn from Quagliarella, looked up, dinked the ball in for Vucinic, and as you said, going for the spectacular, elaborate finish. Vucinic on the drop, didn't connect with it though.
He had time to control the ball. And I think that was what Conte was saying to himself.
Had it gone in though, Patrick, would have looked good.
Absolutely. Diakite with a header. Now Scaloni. And that's a free kick. Marchisio just tugging Gonzalez's shirt. Gonzalez doesn't want to shake Marchisio's hand. Now the shot from Massana. Rather tame effort from 25 yards out or so. First shot on goal, or at least towards goal, for Lazio. And a fairly routine save, I'd say, for Gigi Buffon. Quagliarella holding off Diakite.
I'm not sure a goalkeeper of the quality of Buffon would even deign that to be a save. Put it down in one of the pass-back categories.
Well, Marchetti, in the meantime, comes up to take the free kick for Lazio. No, he's going to leave it for Diakite, in fact, who in turn rolls it a little bit further forward than in fact. But no worries, the referee says play on as Ledesma takes the kick. Ledesma, of course, pulls the strings for Lazio in midfield. That's a nice layoff by Mauri. Sana out wide to Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a cross. Lichtsteiner's there. Pepe, first time pass to Quagliarella. Tried to control it, but in fact played it into the path of Biava, and rightly so, the referee given the free kick.
Biava not being caught out twice, stepping in there. Quagliarella just took his eye off the ball. Biava stepped in and he's earned his free kick. Again, you have the feeling that Lazio just looking for some breathing space, some time to not give Juventus possession without actually building too much of their own attacks.
So Ledesma once again standing over this dead ball situation for Lazio. Two-man wall for Juve as it's played over the top. And Barzagli with an up and under. He's underneath it again.
He needed to be there because the Lazio captain Mauri was about to step in.
Here's Lichtsteiner doing well. Quagliarella's got to hold on to possession here. This time he wins the free kick. Diakite has got to be careful. Juve have taken it very quickly indeed, almost instantly. Here's Bonucci. Barzagli now switching play towards Marchisio. Marchisio just let it bounce and it's gone out of play. So a little bit disjointed at the moment in these opening 20 minutes. Just that one chance really on goal so far, which fell at Quagliarella's feet. It's been a fairly slow start to this first half,
which suits Lazio perfectly.
Barzagli.
Not seen much from Marchisio. Player suffering from a knee injury. He was also at risk.
Well, Bonucci having a go from distance. He was allowed to bring that ball well forward, Bonucci.
Said he wanted to get his name on the score sheet once again. He expected from a header from inside the box. Here, Bonucci going for a spectacular long-range top corner effort. Marchetti disappointed that it wasn't closed down. As the camera picks up Antonio Conte. Perhaps not quite as relaxed as normally in his press conference yesterday. Wringing of his hands. He says that his team have got this far. Now They need to take it all the way to the final game of the season.
Well, just 7 games left coming into the game, of course, in the Serie A season. So it is the home straight for both Milan and Juve.
And Juve have their noses in front. Conte says it already has been a super extraordinary season. You consider going back that their aim was to have Juventus supporters be proud once again to walk around wearing their black and white striped shirts. That has been achieved. Now the aim is perhaps a league and cup double.
Well, Lazio at the moment playing decent football. They've settled into their stride and are holding on to possession when they do have the ball. That ball over the top towards Rocchi, just a little bit too long. Here's Bonucci again being allowed to bring the ball out. Well, pretty poor pass by Quagliarella this time. He was looking for Pepe, who was hugging this right hand flank. Here's Pirlo now. Pirlo, that's a beautiful ball to Vucinic. Vucinic tries to go back in, told to get back up by the referee.
I would at least give it perhaps not a penalty but obstruction there. Scaloni blocked Vucinic, and there's no doubt about it, Scaloni was caught out of position. Vucinic made the run, he was pegged out, and there, well, perhaps obstruction.
Well, Juventus, who have complained about the lack of penalties given over the season, just the one they've had all year long, with another call there. The referee didn't hesitate, waved play on straight away. Here's Pirlo now. Vidal out to Lichtsteiner. Haven't seen him marauding down this right hand side just yet. Lichtsteiner making a vital challenge on Rocchi. Here's Quagliarella. And Quagliarella generally being asked to do something that he's not normally used to doing, which is holding that ball up in the middle. That's a nice turn by Gonzalez.
He's been caught by Pirlo.
It's a free kick in a very, very good position.
You got to say that this 4-3-3 from Juventus has made their play so much more static than the 3-5-2 of late. There's been no real galloping up and down the flanks. De Ceglie, I think, added an extra dimension to Juventus. Here, Lichtsteiner on the right hand side. Chiellini certainly won't make too many runs down the left hand side. There's not much support for the midfield, especially for Quagliarella. Pepe and Vucinic also being very cautious and playing perfectly into the hands of Ederea's Lazio. You see, Ederea seems to have understood perfectly what Juventus were going to do, and he's positioned the players just to break up the lines. And now they've got this free kick.
Ledesma goes for goal, and easy save for Buffon. Read it well. It was nicely on target though by Ledesma, just maybe didn't quite have the power to test Buffon.
Still a quality save by Buffon. So much experience, and he's won so much in his career. He doesn't feel the need to do the Hollywood stuff. Maybe he can make a save look simple and is worth more, and there he did it once again.
Barzagli to Vidal. Vidal caught in possession by Ledesma. Chiellini now with the ball in, and that's a dangerous ball again by Chiellini. Marchetti with a very safe pair of hands, and they needed to be.
And again, Juventus not getting behind the Lazio defence, but still creating an opportunity in the penalty box. And Marchetti had to be sharp, couldn't let anything spill.
Flicked on by Mauri, straight through to Buffon. Here's Pirlo. And again Pirlo, flicked on by Pepe. Quagliarella unable to claim possession, but it's come back to Vidal. Now Pirlo sends it out towards Chiellini. Bonucci now Vucinic asking for the ball, just flicking it on to Marchisio. Marchisio on to Vidal, on to Pepe. Oh, what a save by Marchetti, but what a chance for Pepe.
Pepe, who scored the winner against Lazio the first time the two sides met, had the chance there to once again practice his golf putting celebration, but denied by Marchetti. Solid goalkeeping. But Juventus carved open that chance with lovely one-touch football.
Quagliarella's done well. Vidal nicely to Marchisio. Here's Vucinic now inside, looking for an opening, and headed out by Candreva. Barzagli will keep this one in play to Vidal. That's nicely done by Juve. But Lazio with every man behind the ball, every man inside their own half.
That's the first time we've seen Marchisio incisive in this game. There's an important element to this Juventus creativity.
An awkward clearance there by Ledesma. What a fine save earlier. We didn't get a replay of the chance from Marchetti. It really should have been 1-0 to Juventus. Pepe through on goal with just the keeper to beat. Here's Vidal. Vidal skipping past Ledesma with a step over. Pirlo thought about the shot, then over the top to Pepe! And that's in! No offside flag. Pepe with an overhead. And the Lazio rearguard caught unawares.
There's the spectacular finish. Pepe didn't want the too simple first chance set up from a minute ago. He wanted something which would take the headlines in the sports press tomorrow morning, and eventually gets to put the ball in the hole after the opening goal. Here's the first chance, saved by Marchetti. Pepe making amends in the most spectacular fashion. Set up by who else? Andrea Pirlo on the chest and on the spin on the volley. Marchetti this time no chance, and Juventus in front, and we'll now see perhaps a different approach from Lazio. Let's hope so.
Well, Pepe's 6th goal of the season, but like to see it from this angle. This is the angle, the offside or not. Well, hard to say, because one player was coming in and one player was going out. Like to see it again. Didn't quite catch whether that was in fact offside or not, but either way the goal stands. Pirlo to Bonucci. Forward to Vidal. Now the referee blowing a free kick for Lazio. Marchisio with a challenge. And they've won it back, Juve. Oh, Vidal with an outrageous effort! And what a save from Marchetti. Well, Vidal, an unbelievable shot, spotted the keeper off his line. That would have been a goal of the season, but Marchetti, what a save. You've got to say, he was backpedaling hard.
Vidal taking lessons from Quagliarella on how to score from his own half.
Oh,
Marchetti must have been panicking as he stepped back all the way to his goal line.
That was some save by Marchetti. Pirlo swinging it in a little bit further out, and Pepe on the volley, but free kick given for a foul on Diakite. Well, sensational couple of minutes. Pepe with a goal, and then Vidal with an outrageous effort from way inside his own half. This was a quality finish nonetheless by Pepe on the chest, overhead kick. Got to admire the skill, and poor Marchetti could do nothing about it on this occasion.
Well, now we've seen the replay 3 or 4 times, but never from the position where you might judge whether he's offside. I think he made his run timed perfectly.
Vucinic giving it away. Garrido intercepting, but so did Pirlo. and Lichtsteiner has gone round Candreva. Lichtsteiner inside to Quagliarella, and another fine save by Marchetti. It's still there. Quagliarella just couldn't play it back. He should have played it back to Marchisio.
That was down as a world-class save, Patrick. The one from Vidal was saving face. This one was outstanding. One hand just stuck up to block the shot from Quagliarella. Juventus here, they fancy a quick second goal.
Suddenly the game has exploded to life after that goal from Pepe. Juventus creating 2 or 3 chances on the bounce. Barzagli now, and Lazio under pressure. Quagliarella again holding off his man. Lichtsteiner this time coming in. Lichtsteiner, well, he went for the shot himself.
A rush of blood to the head there from the ex-Laziale.
Well, this was the chance. See it again. Fine save. It took a deflection as Quagliarella in fact struck it against his own foot and almost scored a very fluky goal indeed, but Marchetti to the rescue for Lazio, and he's kept them in the game so far, Marchetti. It's good play by Juve, but there's a free kick in the middle, and referee didn't allow play to go on. It's Biava, yellow card for the 2 centre-backs then for Lazio, Biava and Diakite.
Also some blocks, basketball style, going in there in the centre circle from Lazio, but the real nasty foul came from Biava. As you said, Patrick's, both central defenders now will need to be extremely careful.
Pirlo has taken the free kick for Juventus. Here he is once more, just laying it off to Barzagli behind him. Barzagli given the time and space to come forward whenever he likes, and that ball touched off to Vidal. Vucinic just playing it behind Pepe. Vucinic hasn't quite got into the game just yet, and that's another free kick. This time Garrido with the foul on Lichtsteiner. So Pirlo ready to take another free kick. All dead ball situations go through this man here, Andrea Pirlo. Plenty of black and white shirts in the middle as the ball swung in. Marchetti using his fists. Oh, Ledesma with a tragic clearance. That really could have been fatal for Lazio. Luckily, Chiellini's shot was in fact charged down.
Did he take his eye off the ball, or think he had a teammate just beside him? Anyway, Ledesma, not what we're used to seeing from the playmaker.
Here's Pepe, goes for the shot. That was blocked by Biava. Vidal. It's all Juventus at the moment. Lovely back heel by Vucinic. Chiellini back to Vucinic. Pepe playing a 1-2, or trying to play the 1-2 with Vucinic. Just a little bit too long this time. Biava happy to see that one roll out of play.
Just when Juventus didn't seem to be able to find a way through this Lazio setup, I'm sure it sparked from the first signs of life of Marchisio, the opening chance for Pepe in 28 minutes, the goal on 30, another chance for Vidal in 32, and another chance again for Quagliarella on 33. Lazio have not been able to find a response.
It's Pirlo playing the ball forward again. It falls to the path of Vucinic, who's trying to find Quagliarella, who'd snuck in behind Diakite. Candreva with a long ball forward. It's more of a hit and hope though, really, by Candreva. Rocky has seen very little of the ball so far in this first half. We are inside the last 10 minutes, 38 on the clock. Vidal given the time to turn as well and pick out his man. It's Simone Pepe Back to Lichtsteiner now. Pirlo.
I'm sure Eddie Ray would like to have a man, Andrea Pirlo. However, with Marchisio making a run out to the left-hand side, he was followed by Sana. Vidal stepped into the middle of the park. Ledesma picked him up, and Pirlo was free for a simple pass. All these mechanisms perfectly worked out from the training ground.
That's a wonderful ball by Pirlo, cut back beautifully, and it's blocked. A dive by Diakite, blocking Vucinic's shot.
Throwing himself in front of the ball there, Diakite. The goalkeeper seemed to have been beaten, and so, without using his arms, the defender launched himself in the path of the ball.
That was a wonderful ball played through by Pirlo, and this fell very kindly indeed. Vucinic with another excellent chance. Pepe with a cross, this time far too close to Marchetti, makes an easy save, rolls it out to Gonzalez, who's got room here. Marchisio comes over to close down the space.
Lazio still outnumbered though.
Candreva finally challenged by Pepe, who got back there as well. And Pepe has stayed down, he's rubbing his knee.
Knee against knee, I think the challenge here. Lazio would be grateful to go into half-time, only a goal down.
I think they would be, they count themselves lucky to be just a goal down. 4 or 5 excellent chances created by Juventus, along with that goal. Marchetti, the busiest man on the pitch, at least for Lazio. Diakite now. Ledesma, back to Diakite. Diakite forward to Mauri, nicely off to Sana. Now this is promising from Lazio. Candreva trying to take on Lichtsteiner. Well, his shot going straight to Buffon. There was no real fizz about the shot.
Sana though pushed further forward in midfield. I think an extra man up the pitch for Lazio made the difference.
Pirlo trying to play another through ball, and even just intercepting the through balls is difficult, as Marchisio picked up the loose ball. Pepe cuts inside and once again goes past Candreva. His ball in has gone across the face of goal, and
Gonzalez with the clearance, almost slipping inside his 6-yard box.
Well, he did slip. Crucial moment. Luckily for him, there was no one behind him. Vucinic leaves it for Vidal. Vucinic with a shot. It struck the head of Biava. So Lazio at least getting bodies in the way of these shots. Pirlo. Forward to Vidal, who's got time. Vidal! And that's another save by Marchetti. It wasn't easy. It was creeping into that bottom corner, and he had to get across. Corner kick then for Juventus. Vidal this time with the chance. Pirlo once again from the corner flag. He's played it short to Vucinic, and he's played it across the face of goal. Now low for Quagliarella, back into the danger zone. Almost fell to Bonucci, who'd stayed forward.
No offside once again.
Well, the offside trap for Lazio at the moment isn't working. Sana, and they have to go back. Lazio really don't know what to do at the moment. Biava. Garrido, but he's played it too far forward. Candreva will keep this in, but Lichtsteiner comes across. Throw in for Lazio, deep inside Juve's half for once.
They have 2 players inside the penalty box though. Rocchi looking for a decent delivery for the first time in the match.
Candreva. Well, his was the delivery. It's an up and under though that goes out of play by Barzagli, so another throw to Lazio.
Now in the second half you'd expect Edereya to change something around.
Well, Lazio just looking to hang on here. 2 minutes left to play, just over.
Rocky needs some kind of help up front, whether it be Hernanes or Kozak, an attacking midfielder, or another striker.
Gonzalez's effort blocked by Marchisio. So another throw, but at the other end of the pitch for Lazio. Chiellini now. It's a Juve throw. Of course, lots of other Serie A games taking place, almost all of them, this evening as well. Here's Vidal. Out to Pepe. Vidal's pass just slowing up the attack. Pepe's back heel to Lichtsteiner. It's come back to Vidal, and Juve just seem to pick up every loose ball that comes away from the edge of that area. Marchisio out to Chiellini. Vidal just leaving it for Vucinic. And that's a nice ball, but just too long for Pepe.
Vucinic waited and waited, he just couldn't send the invitation. He had to try and keep the Lazio defence guessing, but that was his idea, to slide the ball through for Pepe. His teammate though was slow in the uptake, you've got to say.
Yeah, I think Pepe just went the roundabout route to try and get an early crossing rather than cutting in towards the ball, and found himself with too little space. Marchetti's kick.
Also going back to Lazio with Mauri in that position as the advanced midfielder. He's barely got a touch of the ball. And he's much more useful on the left-hand side of the three more advanced midfielders.
Cross comes in, it's a dangerous cross! And it's an equaliser from Mauri!
I will eat my words immediately.
Well, what a shock here. Juve could have been 2 or 3 goals up, and from Lazio's first cross into the danger zone, Mauri, left all on his own, has equalised. Well, that is the best thing that could have happened to Lazio right before the half-time whistle.
This is the first time we've seen more than 2 players inside the Juventus penalty box during open play. And the cross perfectly flighted in. And
fantastic
Mauri,
header.
with a great header. Any header that makes the goal look enormous is wonderful, especially against a quality goalkeeper in Gigi Buffon. Buffon eventually beaten 45 minutes into this game. 468 minutes in total.
It's going to be a corner kick though for Juve. 2 minutes have been added on. We're inside almost at the end of the first minute. What a shock then here. Lazio finding an equaliser from nowhere, and Juve ruining those missed chances. There were plenty of them, as Pirlo sends this one in towards Chiellini, and that's gone out of play. So it's going to end this half all even.
We're into the final minute of stoppage time. We can count the Juventus chances with Quagliarella and Vucinic before the team really woke up in the 28-minute mark. Pepe, and then Pepe scored on the half hour. Vidal, Quagliarella, Vucinic, Vidal once again. All perfect goal-scoring opportunities denied by Marchetti, and when the goalkeeper couldn't reach it, Diakite did. And then Mauri pops up out of the blue and makes it 1-1.
Well, credit to Lazio. It was a splendid delivery from Gonzalez into the box, who for once found himself free, had the time to pick his cross. Here's Pirlo to Marchisio, skips away from Gonzalez, and that's it then. The whistle goes, the end of the half. Well, it finishes 1-1 despite dominance from the home side. Juve scoring early on, and Lazio equalising right at the end here
A morale booster for Lazio. Juventus will be disappointed. They had so many goal-scoring chances. Now they need to pick themselves back up for the second half.
Well, we are going to take a short break, of course, but don't go away. Join us for the second half. We'll be right. Welcome back to the second half of Juventus Lazio. As you can see, the Juventus players are already out on the field of play. Lazio yet to come out from the tunnel. No changes for Juventus. We didn't really expect any, as they had a very good first half generally after the goal went in from Pepe on the 30-minute mark. They played some excellent football and created plenty of chances, but were caught cold by a Mauri header just before the half-time whistle. A wonderful header indeed, crossed in by Gonzalez and headed in by a Mauri. And I'm sure that corner.
Antonio Conte will have told his players, just don't dwell on that goal that you've lost. Go out, play the second half as you played the first. They had twice as much possession. They had 6 corners to Lazio's none, and they had twice as many shots on goal. But it's not only the number of shots on goal, it was the quality of the shots and what they forced Marchetti to do.
Yeah, Marchetti certainly was vital in keeping Juve out. Made 2 or 3 stunning saves. And Lazio will certainly come out with a boost of confidence after that goal.
Although I'm not sure what Eddie Raya will be expecting of his team in the second half, exactly as they did in the first when they were overrun, outplayed, and had to rely on their goalkeeper to stay within in the match, or will they change their tactics in the second half and try and go for the 3 points?
Lazio kickstart the second half then, and they are the first side to score against Juventus after 5 games without conceding a goal since Bologna.
Just as Gigi Buffon was heading towards 600 minutes without conceding a goal.
And Buffon with basically nothing to do in that first half and saw the ball whistle past him. Mauri with 2 goals in 2 games and 2 excellent goals as well. Now Pirlo over the top, Marchisio back to Chiellini. Chiellini with a cross to the far post, and that had to be put out of play by Garrido. So good start by Juventus, and they will, as they always do, look for more goals. Pirlo then waiting for the big men to come up from the back. Played that one in at the near post, and Ledesma did his best, but cleared it into row Z. So another corner kick. Pirlo this time with a better delivery, and it was towards Barzagli. The ball stayed for a moment, and now Rocky. That's an excellent ball to Rocky, who's gone past Lichtsteiner. And Lichtsteiner is going to be caught here. What's the card going to be? Yellow card for Lichtsteiner, who took Rocky out, but it could have been almost last man.
Brilliant run by Rocky. He was standing at in the centre circle, spun out onto the wing to create space for the pass. And Lichtsteiner made sure that his former teammate was going nowhere.
Well, he was well picked out as well, Rocky. The Lazio captain. And Ledesma with a chance to swing a ball in to the box. Ledesma with a free kick then. It's taken a touch off Vucinic, and it's going to be a corner kick then to Lazio.
Their first of the match.
Well, the referee didn't spot it. He's waiting for his linesman to give him the decision, but Lazio are going over to take it nonetheless. I'm not sure the linesman spotted Vucinic's touch either. Ledesma, though, is trotting over.
Juventus caught there with their central defenders inside the Lazio penalty box from their corner kick. And from the counter-attack here, Lazio have earned their first corner of the match.
And Ledesma has struck it straight at Vidal.
Diakite is down holding his face after a clash inside the box here. Scaloni not wanting to take any chances, and Diakite, just as the corner kick was struck, went down
Well, let's see it again in the replay. He was just caught, Chiellini, holding up an arm. It wasn't really an elbow, it was just trying to keep him at bay. Rather exaggerated by Diakité. Chiellini, known to get rough inside that area.
And the other.
And the other in both areas. Here he is on the ball now. Just took it too far.
And he went through the ball there. And he's going to get a yellow card as well for Chiellini. And Juventus perhaps losing their composure at the start of the second half.
2 yellows then in a couple of minutes for Juventus. This was the slide-in challenge. Well, it was a frontal challenge, but he wasn't showing studs, Chiellini.
And then he also had a word for the referee.
So Antonio Conte getting his players up, warming up Giaccherini and Matri. Running up and down the touchline. Scaloni is still on the ground.
Brocchi and Kozak warming up for Lazio. And still Scaloni receives treatment. Scaloni, the defender, not chosen by Edi Reia in that historic defeat at Palermo when he played as a central defender, Ledesma, and after that match resigned, wasn't allowed to resign, came back in and revitalised Lazio.
Well, Scaloni will come back on. He's just trotting to the fourth official now. He'll send him on when he gets the OK from the referee, which he hasn't done so far. So Lazio just momentarily. Now Scaloni's back on. And he'll slot back in. He's got to make up some room here. Diakité with the intervention, with the interception. Ledesma, that's rather lazy by Ledesma. And Quagliarella's shot took a deflection which dipped awkwardly. Marchetti was there.
He can strike a ball though, Quagliarella.
And Ledesma just giving the ball away in a very awkward situation. Doesn't quite look on top of his game. Ledesma, as that ball comes into the far post. Bonucci this time couldn't connect. Gonzalez, but Marchisio has it. Here's Chiellini, squares it to Vidal. Vidal, oh, he's lost possession here, and Lazio could break. Here's Rocchi up against Lichtsteiner once again. Rocchi going away from his man, playing in Candreva, and Candreva going to ground. It's going to be a goal kick. Well, Candreva was never really going to get a penalty for that decision.
He is insinuating though that there was contact inside the box, and that's why he went to ground. Perhaps Rocchi though should have kept on running at Lichtsteiner. He knew the defender's just been yellow carded.
Oh, Vucinic in a great position, and he's just put it wide of goal. That was a wonderful ball played across field by Pepe. Vucinic took it down really well, and again Vucinic off target.
The angle was there though. Just closed the shot too much after controlling a pass which for many other players in Serie A would have been beyond them.
Marchetti with another goal kick then. Sends it long. It's Pirlo underneath this one though, who was beaten to it by Sana. Pirlo now in possession. Chiellini out to Vucinic, and this time well challenged by Scaloni, taken quickly by Chiellini. Pirlo up to Vucinic. Vucinic twisting and turning, finds Vidal. Pepe squares it, a little bit short though for Pirlo. And they've got to watch Lazio on the break, because that's what they're playing for.
Sana with a crunching tackle on Pirlo.
Well, the referee deciding it's in fact a Lazio throw.
I thought that's what all the Lazio players were claiming. 4 or 5 of them had their arms raised.
Java now at the back. Diakité. He's played it straight at Pirlo. Horrible pass by Diakite. Pirlo holding off Mauri. Yellow card for Mauri. So the yellow cards coming out of referee D'Amato's pocket on a regular basis now.
That's the first one that really hurts though for Lazio. They will lose their captain at the weekend. 12:30 kick-off at home against Novara as the top teams face the bottom.
Here's Pirlo, lines up a shot. Shot come cross, which in the end is going to be a corner kick.
Not only do third place Lazio face second bottom Novara, but top coming into round 32, Juventus take on bottom place Cesena.
Here's Pirlo once again, played in by Marchisio to the far post, and it's going to be another corner kick. Pressure then for Lazio as Pirlo goes from one side of the pitch to the other to take these corners. Nobody else allowed to take it. He's taken this one short though to Pepe.
The referee's assistant doesn't like it.
Well, I'm not quite sure why. Maybe the ball wasn't inside the D. Is he asking for it to be taken again? Well, referee's going over to ask for explanations. Was the ball rolling?
After a bright opening minute in the second half, with a yellow card.
Quagliarella's been shown a yellow card for a foul then, it seems. Well, Juve need to calm down here because they've collected 3 yellow cards since the start of the half.
I was about to say, as the first minute of the second half, Juventus seemed to have rediscovered their form of the first 45 minutes. Then they were caught on the counter-attack. Then you can see the reaction from Quagliarella to the close marking. And he just seemed to shove the Lazio player out of the way. And that's where the free kick came from. And since that counter-attack from Rocky and the yellow card for Lichtsteiner, Juventus have become extremely disjointed.
Vucinic playing it far too early for Marchisio. And Vucinic having to cover in midfield now.
And the swagger has gone out of the Juventus performance. When they were a goal up, they were playing with extreme confidence, getting chance after chance. But as you mentioned at half-time, Patrick, they didn't take them. And that is what is extremely important. Lazio, with their one slender, solitary chance, went in a half-time 1-1. And they could have been 6 goals behind.
Chiellini to Pirlo. Barzagli. Vucinic back to Pirlo. Pirlo opening it up for Pepe. Pepe skipping past his man, gets the cross away, and that is Marchetti's territory. Garrido playing it to Candreva. Ledesma with a quick early pass. Here's Buffon. Out wide to Barzagli. Inside to Pirlo. Goes back to Bonucci. And Juve start again from the back with Chiellini now. Inside to Pirlo. This time Vucinic making the run. Vucinic taking on Scaloni. And that is a free kick. Vucinic.
Vucinic going back to the first half incident. There seemed to be less of a free kick than the penalty claim when it was 0-0 in the first half.
Well, Vucinic really, in my opinion, should be ripping into Scaloni on that left-hand side. On paper, it's a complete mismatch, and we've seen Vucinic tear into defenders of far greater stature as Marchetti just tips that one over. It wasn't a difficult save, but just wanted to be sure.
Marchetti, one of these goalkeepers that doesn't like to hold crosses, prefers to palm them or punch them out of danger.
In at the near post, flicked on, and Pepe will pick up the loose ball back into the middle. It's again Marchetti towards goal by Quagliarella.
Every now and again Marchetti should hold on to the ball and give his defence less palpitations.
Well, he has been splendid though.
As a shot stopper, he's one of the best in Serie A.
Bonucci trying to play like Pirlo. It wasn't a bad pass, but Pepe was nowhere near it. It was thumped towards that right-hand side.
Antonio Conte asking his side to calm down.
Here's Barzagli back to Bonucci. So far, no players are stripping off for either side, so it doesn't look as if either coach is preparing to make a change. With 15 minutes played, Vucinic taking on Scaloni, as he should be. Quagliarella, bit of an awkward pass from Quagliarella. Marchisio holding on to possession for Juventus. Candreva working hard, but that's a foul on Lichtsteiner. And it's going to be another yellow, is there? No, referee this time
Did seem to be going for his pocket, then
he did, and
his
then
mind.
Thought about it again. Pirlo once again then. Can Juve make one of these set pieces count? It's another good position to whip a ball in. It's another good ball whipped in. And Chiellini was who got the last touch, although he's asking for a goal kick, for a corner kick, excuse me, but it is going to be a goal kick.
Chiellini, the last man, attacking this ball. So he got the better of Diakite, but couldn't get his effort on target. And Ederea will be very content with how this second half has started.
Now Lazio doing well at the moment to contain Juventus, who have lost that edge that they had at the end of the first half. Just one chance created so far by Vucinic. Here's Vidal. Chiellini leaving it to Pirlo. Pirlo has Marchisio but prefers to find Pepe out wide. Pepe goes past Candreva. Pepe looking for movement inside the box, and there wasn't too much. And there was nobody coming in from behind. Both players making the run towards the near post.
Marchisio and Vidal, the midfielders who should be attacking the run inside the box. The forwards, well marked by the Lazio defence.
Now forward, here's Quagliarella. Well, he thought about a shot, then tried to slip a ball through an impossible gap, and it's gone out of play. Quagliarella just drifting out of the game in this second half, and you feel if Antonio Conte is going to bring on another striker. Normally the change that he does make is up front. Bonucci doing well. Plays a good ball forward to Quagliarella. Here's Vucinic. Quagliarella again. He's hung on to possession well this time. Quagliarella has got it away to Vidal. Vidal needs to... well, he's held on to possession. I was going to say needs to play it wide. Marchisio! That's well wide of goal. Now that's what the midfielders need to do. They need to start shooting.
Feeling not as well organised though in the second half, Juventus. Not playing as a cohesive unit. Quagliarella, they're just scrapping and trying to create something out of nothing basically. Trying to bring his midfielders into the game.
Play on, says the referee, as Rocky went down, and the ball played to Vucinic, who unfortunately, instead of letting the ball bounce, took the touch. And Vucinic once again is hard to place Vucinic. He's a very talented player, of course, but not always as effective as he could be. I
would use the adjective mercurial for Vucinic. at times sublime, at times just doesn't seem to exist on the football pitch.
Here's Vidal. That's too far forward for Vucinic, and a risk taken by Scaloni. Well, you don't want to be doing that on the edge of your box. Lazio hanging on though, as Buffon comes out of his area to shout some words of encouragement.
Also the first time during the game there's a tension in the stands around this Juventus stadium.
It certainly is, yeah. It's finely poised. You feel that Lazio could sneak another goal like they did at the end of the first half. And Juve, of course, desperate for those 3 points.
Del Piero, Matri and Giaccherini, the 3 substitutes warming up. Kozak for Lazio.
Here's Pirlo in the meantime to Chiellini. Chiellini leaves it for Pirlo once again. It's all very tight in there. That's a wonderful ball and another wonderful save.
Offside though. This time the flag has been raised. Pirlo picking out another delightful pass.
Wow.
Steiner making the run.
Wonderful save.
Marchetti didn't know he was offside. He was, by a good metre.
Yeah, good decision by the referee's assistant. But Marchetti, what reflexes. Outstanding goalkeeping from Marchetti. Yeah, it's good to see Marchetti doing well at Lazio after that sabbatical he had.
Enforced sabbatical.
Enforced, absolutely.
At the whims of Mr. Cillino at Cagliari.
Scaloni with the throw for Lazio. And no going past Chiellini. It's a tough nut to crack.
As it stands, Juventus will set a new record in Serie A. The longest unbeaten record, beating that of Mancini's Inter, 2006-2007, a difficult year for Juventus. However, that year, Inter certainly won a lot more of their matches, 25 and only 6 draws. Juventus being held once again. And this would be draw number 50.
Over, the chance, Lichtsteiner's fluffed it. And what a chance. Scooped over the top by Vidal, and it was a very good scoop indeed.
Lichtsteiner still getting some encouragement from Vidal. The fullback getting himself in some dangerous situations now.
Really should have struck it though.
But that's why he plays fullback, Patrick, I think. This time no offside.
This was the handball, but the referee intelligently played on, gave advantage to Juventus.
Juventus staring draw number 15 in the face of the moment. And more importantly, or as a consequence, giving the advantage back to the rivals, Milan.
Well, you do feel that there are going to be some surprises in store before the end of the season. But neither side were going to win every single game.
Do we have some surprises in store before the end of this match, halfway through the second half? You'd expect Conte to call over at least one of his substitutes pretty soon.
Lichtsteiner. Play on, says the referee. No foul given on this occasion, but Ledesma's lost possession. Ledesma, in my opinion, has had a poor game. Pirlo. That cross, far too close to the Lazio keeper on this occasion. Thrown out quickly to Mauri. He's given it away, though, to Vidal. Vidal hasn't really got any support, though. And in turn gave it away back to Mauri. Stefano Mauri looks a little bit tired. Bonucci. Juve continue to dominate possession. Marchisio to Chiellini. Got to accelerate to keep that in. And it's going to be a throw to Juve. I tell you, Juventus, I feel, could do with someone like Del Piero at the moment to just try and create something. Neat little flick here or there. A little bit of skill on the edge of the box. Lazio, for their part, have Hernanes, Matuzalem, Kozak, Alfaro, Brocchi and Zauri on the bench, as this ball is far too long and goes out of play. Well, we've reached the 25-minute mark in this half.
And more unenforced errors coming from Juventus all round the pitch. And more grumblings from the supporters. Conte has called over somebody, and it is Alessandro Matri. He's going for the big striker to rumble up the Lazio defence.
Mauri over the top. Bonucci, that's a good challenge. And another good challenge by Chiellini as Gonzalez was coming forward.
70-minute mark, on comes Alessandro Matri, who came on as a substitute on Saturday against Palermo and made an instant impact on the game. Got to get his headband in place. Kind of striker would he be in the Italian game without that perfect headband?
You can't have the hair getting in the way of your eyes, Paul.
He set up Quagliarella for the second goal in Sicily.
It'll be interesting to see if he comes on for Vucinic again or whether he'll take the place of Quagliarella. Quagliarella doesn't quite seem to have doesn't seem to have played as well as he did in the first half. Here's Vidal leaving it for Vucinic, but that's a terrible mistake by Vucinic.
And if the coach was undecided up until that moment, I'm sure that mistake by Vucinic,
that might have made his mind up. Yeah, absolutely. Vucinic with a tired looking pass. Well, that's a Lazio free kick, as both Mauri and Bonucci went down.
Two changes for Lazio, and Del Piero also been called over, so perhaps also a double change coming soon for Juventus. In fact, Del Piero takes off his training top. Pepe comes off for Matri, and we'll see Vucinic coming off for Del Piero. Well, Kozak and Hernanes will come on for Lazio. You'd say Mauri, he's put in a difficult shift for such a talented player. He's scored the goal, but it's all been very much work on the dark side, marking, running, closing down. And yeah, Hernanes will be asked to do the same.
It's an intelligent change by Eddie Ray, although Mauri doesn't really want to come off, of course.
His 200th appearance for Lazio, Mauri, and a very, very important goal. Nice shiner he's sporting there, or is it make-up?
Well, he scored a goal that could well keep Lazio in the hunt for that third spot, of course.
And on comes Del Piero. Talk of perhaps another year contract being offered to the captain. His 700th appearance in a Juventus shirt this evening.
Well, at the moment, Juve have got some defending to do as Del Piero takes his place in the wall, and it struck, I think, Chiellini. Well, Quagliarella has moved across to the right-hand side, taking Pepe's place effectively, and Del Piero is playing on the left-hand side with Matri straight down the middle.
So tactically, no change for Juventus. Kozak warming up, jigging on in the technical area, and I expect Kozak will just come on for Rocky.
Well, Lichtsteiner a little bit miffed at the fact that the referee has given this throw Lazio's way, but Lazio making another change. So Rocky is handing over the captain's armband to Ledesma.
So Rocky, ex-Juventus youth player, unable to score his 100th goal in Serie A. at the Juventus stadium. He'll have to keep that, perhaps, for the weekend at home to Novara. But I'm sure Rocky will have a lot more support from his teammates in attack.
It's Pirlo in the meantime. Del Piero touching it to Vidal. Here's Del Piero. Chiellini with a cross. It's taken a deflection. And again, Ledesma with a poor clearance.
Just wondering why Eddie Raya doesn't throw Brocchi on for the final 20 minutes for Ledesma.
Here's Vidal. He's got Marchisio making that run on the edge of the box. It was a poor ball though to Del Piero on the edge of the area. Kozak in fact heading the ball down to Marchisio. And Pirlo out to Chiellini.
All square at the Juventus stadium in terms of goals, bookings and substitutions.
Marchisio in possession. Forward to Vidal. Just jinxing one way then the other. Lichtsteiner with a cross. Matri leaving it. And nobody picking up the loose ball. Del Piero. And try to play a 1-2 with Vidal. The challenge is flying in, but referee giving Lazio a free kick.
And it wasn't the foul it wasn't the tackle from Marchisio, but an earlier challenge here from behind from Chiellini on Gonzalez. And not this one here on Marchisio, from Marchisio on Hernandez. That was a clean challenge. There's the one earlier. You see some fine skill from Del Piero.
He's still got a wonderful touch. Here's Vidal, just flicking it on. Matri playing it back to Vidal, who spotted Del Piero. And the ball just curling away from Del Piero to Marchetti.
Still with Del Piero's his goals against Inter and against Milan in the Cup. And you can see he's just completely adored by the Juventus supporters. But the banner earlier before the kick-off, with all the talk of Pirlo trying to bring in some of the Milan veterans to Juventus. Nesta, also Seedorf. Why bring Seedorf when you have Del Piero renew the captain's contract? Was the claim from the supporters.
Vidal to Lichtsteiner. Quagliarella trying to turn his man, and he's won a free kick. Pirlo again, just playing it short to Vidal, and again to Vidal. Well, tried to pick out Marchisio, had made a crafty little run in the middle, but Lazio on the counter here. Candreva looking to take on Barzagli.
Final touch came off the Lazio man. Excellent defending by Barzagli. What a fine for €300,000.
Here's Del Piero. Holding off Gonzalez's challenge. That's lovely play by Del Piero. Opens it up for Vidal. Back to Del Piero! And it's straight down the throat of Marchetti, who again stands in the way.
Almost spilled that one though. In the first time, in the last 20 minutes or so, that Juventus have carved something open from midfield, coming forward.
Gonzalez is very much free on this side for Lazio, who are finding a bit more room now as Juventus really chase the game.
Also the Juventus midfield beginning to tire, unable to track back as often as Conte would like to see them. Almost the ball breaking back to Candreva, couldn't control it.
Matri making that run behind Biava. It was rather ambitious though, as Marchetti, gosh, gave the Lazio fans a bit of a scare.
I guess his former teammate down in Cagliari.
Less than 15 minutes left, almost 10 minutes left of the match. Juve 1, Lazio 1, both goals coming in the first half. That's a good ball over the top and played in to Chiellini, of all people, who found himself inside the 6-yard box.
And the defender didn't have the reflexes just to turn the ball into an open net. Blaming Lee Steiner for not putting the ball perfectly into his path. But that was a glorious opportunity at this stage, I would say, to take all 3 points.
Absolutely.
Final change for Juventus, Giaccherini coming on.
And it's Vidal making way. So a pair of fresh legs in midfield. So Giaccherini on, and Lazio going tit for tat here as Brocchi comes on, or will do anyway, as soon as the ball goes out of play. Next time the ball goes out of play. That's
a yellow card
down.
Yellow card for Kozak.
Bonucci calling for some water.
And it's Gonzalez who's coming off. Ledesma will last the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time, and expect at least 3 minutes of stoppage time, as Rocky received treatment, as did Scaloni.
Matri opening up play for Giaccherini. That's played nicely through. Giaccherini prefers to square it to Marchisio. Ledesma, surely that's handball.
And a yellow card.
Another yellow then. So Kozak shown a yellow. Ledesma shown a yellow. And this could be an opportunity for Pirlo.
Or Del Piero.
Or Del Piero, in fact.
Interesting to see the Juventus hierarchy. Who has the final say? Perhaps this man here, Antonio Conte. We also saw in the warm-up, Pepe was taking all the free kicks. He's been substituted, and it's Del Piero with Pirlo, World Cup winners in that magical night in Berlin for Italy.
Well, they want the wall back full 10 yards here. And Pirlo arguing that it isn't anywhere near 10 yards. Del Piero! And he scored! Unbelievable! Oh, Del Piero on his 700th appearance has made it 2-1.
And if that doesn't get him a contract renewal, then nothing will. He's popped up in the final third of the season to lead Juventus to the final of the Italian Cup, and perhaps now to the Scudetto.
Well, as ever, the stadium just erupts when Del Piero scores, and this could be his most important goal of the season. 2-1 Juve, and what a strike. Marchetti thought he was going the other way. He put it on the other post.
And Marchetti, for all his fine goalkeeping this evening, he didn't trust his wall. He put 5 or 6 men across there, and the gap that he left open was an invitation to the quality, the talent of Alessandro Del Piero.
Here he is again. Nice ball out to Giaccherini, and suddenly the Juventus stadium is alive once again. They had gone rather silent, the fans here. And Lazio, who were just trying to hang on to this draw, find themselves a goal down with about 6 minutes left to play, plus whatever time is added on.
Juventus will just have to be wary from the mistake in the first half. when they allowed Lazio out of nothing to find an equaliser in the 45th minute.
Now Del Piero, that's only his second goal in the league. He hasn't featured that often for Juventus this season. But it has to be said, as the season has gone on, especially after Christmas, we have seen more of him. And Juve a little bit boxed in now. Barzagli down the line, flicked on by Quagliarella. Now touched on Del Piero. He's played it with the outside of his foot to Quagliarella, who's chasing this one all the way. He's kept it in play.
The more simple pass, the more effective pass would have been into the path of Giaccherini from Del Piero. Instead he put it down by the corner flag for Quagliarella. And Juventus winding down the clock.
Yeah, no urgency for Lichtsteiner. Well, out from Ledesma. Kozak goes to ground, but no foul given. Bonucci to Marchisio, back to Bonucci.
And if we consider in the first half, Juventus had 6 excellent opportunities, added another couple half chances. In the second, that is their first real opportunity, and it wasn't a clear chance. It was a difficult free kick from quite some distance out, and yet Del Piero found the back of the net.
Giaccherini, his cross, again just too close to Marchetti. Now Candreva in possession for Lazio. Can they bounce back again? 5 minutes left to play. That's a free kick for Lazio. Lichtsteiner with the foul. Here's Biava. Diakite. Can Juve hang on to this lead that would take them back to the top of the table? That's what it says is at stake here. It is the Scudetto title that Juve are playing for, along with AC Milan, of course. Pirlo comes away with the ball. And Pirlo, who isn't the biggest guy on the pitch, but he hangs on to possession ever so well.
In this match here, at least on paper, you would say the second to last difficult fixture for Juventus. The other game is against the other side from the capital, again at the Juventus Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. Apart from that, they've got Novara, Lecce, Cagliari and Atalanta standing in the way between Juventus and the league title.
Here's Chiellini to Del Piero, who's very deep indeed. Just inside, calmly to Barzagli. Here's Matri. Did well to hang on to possession. Giaccherini now. A tricky little player, Giaccherini. Loves to skip past players. Quagliarella trying to play Matri in. Here's Marchisio. Out to Chiellini. Giaccherini calling for it, and Chiellini playing it straight to Marchetti. Now Ledesma plays it forward to Hernanes. Quagliarella collecting the loose ball. Here's Pirlo once more. The third goal, of course, for Juve would seal the deal towards Giaccherini, again punched out by Marchetti. Ledesma. Well, this time going away from Pirlo. Out to Candreva. Candreva up against Lichtsteiner. Goes past Marchisio. There's some tired legs out there. And just played out by Chiellini. Diakite inside to Biava. Now it's Lazio who can enjoy a bit of possession. Hernanes. Hernanes! Well, he's got a lethal left foot, Hernanes.
He's got a corner kick.
It's going to be a corner kick indeed.
Shot took a deflection.
Bit of defending to do then for Juventus. A nervous moment of the match.
89th minute.
It is Hernanes, the Brazilian, from the corner flag.
The referee watching the grappling that's going on, the blocking. He stops before the corner kick was taken.
Yeah, a little bit too much going on.
He'll have a word with a couple of players. Milan in the Champions League would have liked a similar referee in a similar position.
So the ball goes back to Hernanes, and certainly a few minutes will be added on at the end of this half. Here he is, Hernanes.
His shirt's being pulled there. Bonucci all over.
Well, in
the person he was marking, but there was another foul inside the box.
And that's exactly what Juventus wanted, a free kick. And they'll take as long as possible as the referee goes over to Eddie Rea and sends him off. And that will suit Juventus even more as the fourth official lifts up his board. Well, he hasn't pressed the right button because we're not seeing anything at the moment.
The replay, you can see Steiner marking Biava, and then Biava.
4 minutes to be added then. The ball pumped forward towards Kozak. Kandreva. Sana. That's a good ball in. And Kandreva in possession. Juve hanging on here as they just get bodies in the way. Lazio are leaving it late.
Leaving it late in both halves. They had success in the first. They still got 3 minutes here in the second.
Quagliarella with a poor clearance straight into the path of Diakite, but it's going to be a Juve throw.
Again, tired here from Ledesma. Seemed to be in possession of the ball.
And Antonio Conte is looking rather nervous on the touchline. Lichtsteiner with a throw. Pirlo in possession now. Forward to Del Piero. Del Piero back towards Pirlo. He's got Quagliarella free, but prefers the ball forward. Marchisio. And that's too long for Giaccherini. Antonio Conte calling for his players to not sit too deep. Launched forward by Scaloni towards Kozak, who this time does get a touch. Can't bundle his way through. Free kick has gone Juve's way. There's a player down though.
There's Bonucci.
He's calling for a medic.
Which means we will have extra time added on to these 4 minutes of stoppages. Kozak, he's still...
Kozak is going to be sent off.
Yep.
That's his second yellow. Oh, Kozak's game not lasting long at all. And not sure why he was sent off here, probably for protests.
He didn't agree that the free kick should have gone against him, and partially I agree with him. However, when he realised that the decision wasn't going to go in his way, he continued to complain to the referee, and eventually Mr. D'Amato from Barletta sent off the Czech centre forward. So you can see the incident, and he did seem to be fouled there. And you can see his reaction as well. Too much from Mr. D'Amato. Eventually, this wasn't the first word that he aimed at the referee.
Well, it does seem a little bit harsh as Bonucci wastes as much time as he can.
By the time added on though, Patrick, we've got these 4 minutes indicated by the referee. Now we don't know exactly how many more minutes they'll add on inside of this. The Juventus supporters raise their voice.
Well, Bonucci's really struggling here, and Juve
might finish down to 10 men as well.
Yeah, haven't got another substitute.
There's a facial injury, Bonucci. The way the medic's touching his nose there, perhaps could even have broken it.
Well, it could be, because he's not getting back up. He's got, I think he's got a cut on his nose, if I saw correctly. But either way, he's not getting back up, and the he's after going to be stretchered off here.
Both teams will finish with 10 men. The final, no, he's back on his feet. He'll walk to the sideline, and I think Leo Bonucci will finish the game. And now it's just, I guess it's 6 minutes we've now got of time added on. So does that mean just one more minute to play? 1:10:60 seconds to wind down for Juventus.
And eventually Buffon has taken the free kick. Well, Lazio rather harshly, I feel, with two men sent off, Eddie Rea and Kozak. Quagliarella turns his man. Here's Matri looking for support. Matri, and he's just going to hide in the corner now.
There's a Juventus throw, and that will be the end of the match, with another victory for Juventus.
Well, if it does stay this way, it's the 5th in a row. It is also a new record, a new Serie A record since the 3 points were introduced. Remind you that Fabio Capello's AC Milan did go an entire season unbeaten, but that was before the 94-95 season. So when there were still 2 points in Serie A, since the 3 points were introduced, as Quagliarella does ever so well to spin away, and not so well with his pass.
Into the final seconds, and it is win number 5 for Juventus, which will take them back to the top of Serie A and keep the pressure on Milan, who'll play the early match on Saturday evening at 6 o'clock at home against Genoa, scrapping for their lives at the foot of the table. Juventus the following day will take on bottom club Cesena.
Well, it's a Lazio throw. It's frantic stuff here right at the end. And the referee, of course, adding on those minutes that Bonucci was down. That's it, though. Juve, thanks to a Del Piero free kick, have beaten Lazio. They go back to the top of the Serie A table, 1 point over AC Milan. It was heart-stopping stuff right at the end here, Paul.
It was a stellar first half by Juventus, but the sides went in 1-1 at half-time. In the second half, Juventus somehow ground out the win. They didn't play well, they didn't outplay Lazio, but the quality of Alessandro Del Piero made the difference, and they picked up another 3 crucial points.